Thursday evening edition of the Cowboy Cast. Harvey, how we doing? But before, hold on, because this is a tradition that we're starting.
How about them Cowboys?
Oof, what do you got for us, Harvey? Tell us.
I said a couple of things about Mike McCarthy. I got to get off my chest last
Okay.
show. So a lot of people might have been like, man, he was kind of harsh on him. But given today is Mike McCarthy's birthday, right?
Yes, sir.
I got to show him a little bit of love.
I
So I'm
feel
going to
bad.
go with, you know, so I will give him credit when credit is due. And I will say this, he did a phenomenal job when Dak was out, 100%. With the game plan they came up with Cooper and running the ball, and I got to give him credit on his birthday, right? So shout out to Mike McCarthy, happy birthday,
Happy birthday.
it's all love. But
Uh,
since we're on coaches, I think you got a little something for us, Jerry. Or
yeah, I actually have a couple of audio clips, right? Because I think that it's one thing to say that we heard this on on whether it be on YouTube or we heard it from he said or she said, but we're getting it directly from the source. 105.3 The Fan. That's radio station exclusively in the Dallas Fort Worth area that they cover Cowboys 24/7 all year round. They also do the Mavericks and of course the Rangers, but Jimmy Johnson was on there today, and he had some kind words for our current coach. So let's take a listen to it. Let's see what he says. This is Jimmy Johnson. Remember the coach that helped us get those dynasties championships.
I think this is the best Cowboys team that I've seen. But for one thing, Mike McCarthy did a tremendous job of overcoming Dak being out and winning those games. I tell you what, no one expected that. Everybody's saying, well, if you could win one, maybe win two. But he did a tremendous job with that staff and with that team to overcome Dak being out. I think.
You know, I think it says something, especially for Jimmy Johnson to say this is probably one of the best Dallas Cowboys teams that he has seen, and then to give praise to Mike McCarthy. I know we were being a little bit harsh earlier. I even gave him the Conor McGregor treatment. Uh, but I still stand by that. If you come away with a loss, I'm still going to be very judgmental. That this is a win that we need to get. It's going to help with seeding. It's going to allow us to build up the right momentum for the Vikings. Um, but Jimmy Johnson continued. So you're basically on par with what he said, right? He's done a good job with the adversity that we had to face in the beginning, correct?
correct.
All right.
Everybody counted, almost every show counted him out. Let's
I
be
did too.
honest.
I did too, man. I said the season's chalked. That's it. Let's
Yep.
focus on the draft.
Yep.
But we're here today. It feels good to have our Cowboys head in the right direction. But let's go ahead and see, right? Because I think they asked them a very good question as far as how does he feel about the Cowboys' chances of winning the Super Bowl this year. So this is what really irritates every fan base aside from the Dallas Cowboy fan base. So let's take a listen.
The NFC, who do we? I'm still not 100% sold on Philadelphia, and the Cowboys.
I had to stop it right there, man. I love what he just said. What do you think, Harvey?
I said this before too as well. They start off strong and then they figure it out. The teams figure out how fast they are, how they're playing, and the second half there's no points usually. A couple of games they were behind, but they figure them out. So we will see how the season continues. But the teams they have beat are not very good so far. So we will see because we played them, but we had Cooper. We didn't have Dak. But we will see as we go. Like Mike Tyson says, right? Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face.
Man, that's
Let's
an
see if let's see if the Eagles, when they actually play a really good team, what happens when they do get punched in the face and they can't come back. So we'll see.
And I like it because earlier in the week, and hopefully we'll have him on the show soon too, right? Hopefully we'll have him on the actual kickoff show. But it's all love, right, with Philly because they're not really like they're just annoying. They're an annoying team in our division. The real rivalry in the NFC East, it's no longer, and that was with the Redskins. But kind of rounding off, let's listen more to what they asked Jimmy Johnson.
Are going to be able to get Philadelphia at home. The 49ers, they're in a hole right now, but they've got a talented team. They might have a shot. Green Bay's really not any good, even though I'm sure they'll put up an effort here this weekend. But the NFC's down. I think the Cowboys have as good a shot, in fact, a better shot than most anybody there. And it'll come down to that Christmas Eve game against the Eagles.
Why?
So wow, he just basically called out the two teams that everybody is expecting to make a push into the playoffs. So we're talking about the Eagles, right? And he was exactly what we've talked about is they get going in the first half, but in the second half they kind of they play this weird they play this weird they don't have the same. Would you call it I don't want to say intensity, right? But how about tempo? Is it that they lose the tempo, or I don't know. They just
I
they
think
struggle to score points in the second half, especially after.
Jerry, Jerry, I think it's that old school. You know when you used to play Tecmo Bowl and you ran the same play over and over again because it worked.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think they kind of do that in the first half, and they try to do it in the second half, and teams just figure it out. So they need to adjust a little bit better than what they have been, and stop playing that Tecmo Bowl in the second half. It's just my opinion.
I will say this: it's going to be very exciting if they try to, right, because Michael Parsons. I wish I could just pull up all these clips and just we can hear them together and we can share our thoughts on it, right? But Michael Parsons did say that every team that they've prepared for this season has given them a totally, completely different look when it comes to the actual game time. Game time. So yeah, man, that sounds bizarre, but if the Packers are able to get their running game going and we could shut down that running game and make them one sided with the passing, I'm very excited about that. Like I said, the only thing that I would say is they would need to clean up would be Anthony Brown, not getting caught with this you know pass interferences, right? The PIs. So this OBJ thing, we've talked everything that we're covering. It's just basically just a kind of summarizing what we've worked on this entire week on the Cowboys Cast project. And we covered the OBJ thing because in the beginning, it's unusual when you hear the coach start off by giving compliments. And you got Jerry Jones giving compliments, and then you got Zeke giving compliments, and then today the gates were open. Michael Gallup, Dak Prescott, and I even heard Dave Hellman, who forever was the Cowboys insider, directly worked for Dallas Cowboys. Now he's on FS1 with Emmanuel Acho, who's becoming a more and more of a more well known personality in the sports broadcasting business, right? So, um, it's just we're just rounding off everything, right, in a nutshell. But the one thing that we are seeing right now is it is going to be a cold day in Dallas. So let's take you to that clip. They asked CD Lamb today, right, because he gave also. I'm gonna play what CD Lamb had to say about uh possibility of signing OBJ. But let's go ahead and hear. Okay, let's hear that clip first about OBJ. So this is CD Lamb on OBJ because, like I said, we're talking pretty much all the big stars on the team started recruiting, and it's a full court press here.
What's the reaction to all the Odell talk among the receiving group?
My reaction? Oh, that's my boy. I'm a fan of Odell for sure. I feel like here, why wouldn't you want to add, more firepower to this offense?
Packers have been really tough against them.
So wow, why wouldn't you want to add more firepower to this offense? What do you think, man? Do you think that this is becoming a reality? This may happen. Odell Beckham Jr., a Dallas Cowboy.
CD Lamb is doing okay right now. I think
Yes,
there's a lot of pressure on him,
there is.
but he knows if there's that star on the other side, that big star that they got to count for, what happens with CD Lamb?
Freeze him up.
Frees him up. So
He
I
gets the
think
ball.
he's exactly. So I think he's inviting that all day long, just because it's going to be more dynamic that way for him. So why wouldn't you? I think I would do it. You would do it, Jerry. Anybody would do it.
I
So
think I said it best. There's no draft capital at stake. You can give him a 3-year deal with avoidable contract. Stephen Jones has mastered the art of putting together some contracts that are very team friendly. And right now, I believe Odell specifically is looking for a place where he feels wanted and a place where he can actually, soak his roots, so to say, right? In other words, a place that he can actually grow, his family. He has a son. We mentioned it. His family is from Texas. I believe his dad is from Texas. So,
yep.
it just makes sense. It just makes sense. And Michael Gallup went off and called him a Hall of Famer, which I thought was pretty good, man. That's pretty good compliments. That's how you know. That's how you know a team is in their full court press. So let's go ahead and finish because one of the topics that we talked about this week was the weather, right? We weren't really expecting the weather to be what it is, but we said, what is it, 37 degrees? And they asked CD Lamb about that. So let's see what he says. Because 37 degrees is, I think it's hard to kind of maybe step outside sometimes at 60 degrees.
From the aspect of the passing attack, how do you guys prepare for the cold attempts that you guys are about to go up to in Green Bay?
The cold attempts,
Yeah, it's supposed to be
like 30.
yeah,
Like
mid
30.
20s on the start of the day. I kick off low 30.
I mean, that's all a mentality. I feel like, physically, you obviously understand, the conditions that your body's going to be in. And like I said, it's mental. It's all the mental part of the game. And I feel like that's going to be a big part for us. You got to lock it in. Who's your
So I mean, this is something that I think that every team kind of like is paying attention to, the weather, especially in the areas that it's not a dome. It's outside. And Green Bay's been infamous that stadium has been legendary. What do you think, Harvey? I mean, we've seen previous games. We've seen a very epic game between the Cowboys and the Packers, and it was similar, similar type of coldness. The infamous Des caught it. Um, what do you think, man? Do
I
you
think
think?
it being cold is fine.
Okay,
But where's the wind? What's the wind going to be? That's the real answer or question, I should say, because the cold is fine. You can deal with the cold. You can still throw the ball. But what's the wind factor? How far is the wind? How fast is the wind going to be blowing? I think that's the biggest one. Cold, though, when players start playing and they get hyped up and they start, the cold really doesn't matter. But what the wind, if it's going to be raining or snowing, those are the effects that'll have on the game. I think, Jerry. So
I'm gonna agree with you. I just said that jokingly as far as it being 60, it's hard to go outside. You just got to make sure you're prepared, right? Aside from the mentally, but I mean, wear sweaters. Wear clothing that's gonna keep you warm, and I think you'll be all right. Like you said, if it's not raining, right? If it's not raining, number one, there's no snowflakes. I think that's also tolerable. But we saw the infamous catch, and it's just kind of eerie how, we're kind of going to a situation. I think it's supposed to rain. I think there's a chance of rain tomorrow there. So
correct.
as long as it doesn't go into Sunday, maybe we don't have to see CD Lamb kind of have a similar situation as what Dez had in that infamous game where Dez did catch it, later on that we found out. But to almost round out right now what we've gotten and what the research and all that good stuff that we've been able to verify the inactives. More importantly for the Packers, right? Let's kind of cover those because Uh, as I there's some players that I'm looking forward for the Cowboys to get back this week, and it looks like they're going to get them back. But right now, what we're seeing is Mercedes Lewis is out, Romeo Dobbs, of course, out. Eric Stokes, also out. A name that we're going to keep a close eye on, and we will announce this on kickoff, is David Bakhtiari. He missed his second straight game. Usually, what we've seen Thursdays is the actual full rehearsal for the entire team. So it's never really good when you've seen players miss that kind of time. As far as ours go, we had Armstrong on there with a shoulder, but he was a full participant. Anthony Barr did not participate, so I don't see Barr. That looks like a game time decision right there with Anthony Barr. Noah Brown was limited. Ezekiel Elliott was limited. Ferguson did not participate, but his is an illness. Michael Gallup was full participant. Hooker full. Parsons full. Schultz full. Turpin full. Sam Williams. And Donovan Wilson, obviously he's dealing with the tooth thing. So he was limited, but obviously it looks like he's training to play. But Sam Williams, we're getting him back. What a time to get him back, man. Because I think that if anybody can help out Michael Parsons stop the run, is Sam Williams. And I want to I want you to go into detail as much as you can of what you've seen Sam Williams, or as he would like to be called, D. Williams, right out of Ole Miss, our second round pick this year in our draft class.
I wish they played him more, Jerry. Do we not? I'm pretty sure every fan's like, why is he not on the field more? Oh, you have to say it, Jerry. That comment.
It was a catch.
It was a catch.
It was a catch. And we did hear Dan Blandino at later on after they clarified that rule say
Yeah.
Des caught it. And I think he even tweeted it, man, like kind of trolling Des. So but anyways.
It was a catch, but Sam
Yes.
Williams, right? Going back to Sam Williams, I just does anybody know what the plan is with Sam Williams? Because I think he should be an every down player. That's how dynamic he is. But at the end of the day, you have so many weapons. I mean, you can save everybody for the rest of the year, really. But I just think him and Michael Parsons together is a future, and it just makes you like play him more. It's just I'm sure he's probably itching too, and they're probably telling him, "Hey, it's all in due time. Take it step by step. It's a long season, and we'll go from there." But it sure is, having that rotation and being fresh in the fourth quarter with 6 minutes left, and you have your legs underneath you, especially in the NFL. It means a lot.
Yes.
So maybe.
No, it does. It really does. I think with Sam Williams, from when the research I was doing was he plays the game. He plays the game full blast, and that's something that you can see kind of trickle down from college. And it's weird how they deployed him at college. I think he was a defensive end, but they would have him stunt a lot at the 3 tech, and so you saw him pushing in a lot to the 3 tech. So you know if anything, that just screams out versatility on Sam Williams' part. And man, I think there's been several plays where we've seen him, push back the tackle right into the right into the running back and stop the running back by using the actual offensive tackle. So he's just a fun player to watch. I think, like you said, they start incorporating him a little bit more. Now we're going to start seeing the future, and especially what we saw with there were some really good things we saw with Damone Clark. Man, the future looks bright for this defense. Do you worry about Sam Williams' character because of his past? Man, I think he's already showed that. I think he's already showed that right now his priority is football. And I think,
Yeah.
I think it's a legitimate question. I mean, that was kind of I believe that's why he fell the way he did in the draft.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
No, you're right, Jerry. That's why he fell.
Yeah, and I think it takes a strong personality and somebody that has a clear picture of where they're taking the defense, and Dan Quinn has done that for us in year 2, and I think that he's really starting to, help Sam, because I mean the last time we saw Sam, what did he do to that running back? He body slammed them, you do that to a quarterback, I mean, that's gonna be a 15-yard penalty and a first down, which we're trying to eliminate. We are trying to eliminate the penalties, right? And I think it's something that has been haunting us for about 2 seasons now. The damn penalties, man. So, but it's gonna be fun to see Sam Williams out there, and I think that if anything, he'll be a big contributor to stopping the run. Aside from maybe Damone Clark being able to see a little bit more of Damone Clark if Anthony Barr is not able to go. Well, this is his time to shine. And let me see what other names. I think that's pretty much all the names that the Cowboys look a little bit more healthier. David Bakhtiari, I'm sorry, he did participate, but it was very limited. Barnes, linebacker, did not participate. Devondre Campbell did not participate. Mason Crosby, of course, limited. Uh, we mentioned Dobbs. Razoo Douglas was limited. Rashawn Gary is done for the season. Elton Jenkins was very limited. Aaron Jones, limited. And that's because we saw him in the walking boot. Alan Lazard, limited. Mercedes Lewis, where he said he ain't gonna he will not participate. Aaron Rodgers was limited because of his thumb. John Runyon also, he's been playing more and more on that offensive line. He's limited. Preston Smith is limited. Man, you're talking about a banged up team. Of course, Eric Stokes won't play. Sammy Watkins, when is he not on the injury report? Right? I guess I guess that's the thing. So we're getting closer and closer to kickoff. We just kind of wanted to round off exactly what the topics we talked. I mean, more and more we're getting more information as the week goes up by. If Barr is out, do Clark and Cox split reps? Man, I don't see Jabril Cox. I don't see him right now getting many reps. I think they're going to allow him to fully heal from that knee. I think they already have a plan for Jabril Cox. Jabril Cox, we will have that clip. I'm gonna find that clip of Jabril Cox saying his role in this defense, and that's something for the future. It's he basically wants the role that J-Ron Curse is playing. So, and we saw him do that a lot in college, especially at North Dakota State. He has I don't know how many interceptions he had in that record-setting season, but it doesn't count because it wasn't the big boy league. But then when he transferred to LSU, he was still making those plays, just not at that high astronomical number. But I believe with Jabril Cox, the plan for him long term will be he's going to take over J-Ron Curse and be your big nickel. Cover the tight ends, actually drop back in coverage, and of course, bring the blitz when he needs to bring the blitz. I think if anything, I think this would be if Barr is out, I think they're just gonna let Damone Clark
Yep.
go. What do you think? You think this is a good game to let him go and see what we have with him?
I think it is, Jerry. We're gonna see his how dynamic he really is, because I think he's that type of player, kind of like Michael Parsons. And I think one of the plays he lined up at defensive end the last game. So we'll see. But you see him on tape on LSU, and like you said, number 18 at LSU, that number, and what does that mean, or the type of player you are. So we will see, and I'm excited to see him play a lot more for sure.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, I mean, I'm excited. I'm just excited that we're gonna get our Cowboys back. And look what's going on right now. I guess it's just the Thursday thing. Maybe the Falcons are not the dark horse that we thought they were gonna be because they're losing. But this game is boring. And I'll tell you this, I'm just excited the Cowboys are back. That's it for us, man. I mean, we covered basically what we talked about during the week. Of course, we love everybody that tuned in. We want to hear more about you. We're gonna start incorporating you guys in the show. So we're gonna actually we need you to clear your throats, make sure because we want to hear your voices and have you interact with us during the live segments, and of course have a lot of fun. But we will be back live Sunday kickoff. Uh, we'll go ahead and announce that. So for those that watch this later, or for those that are watching, make sure you follow. We have, of course, the Instagram. We got the TikTok. Of course, you're on YouTube right now, and of course, coming soon. Well, no, we already have the Facebook too. So
Yep.
go to your Facebook and you'll see the little cut ups that we do. I cannot wait to I cannot wait for tomorrow's cut up. It's gonna be hilarious. For those who get offended, I am sorry. I'm asking for your forgiveness ahead of time. But that's it for us tonight. Harv, did you have anything else you want to add before we end it off?
No, man, I'm impatient, right? I'm an impatient Cowboy fan. I want it to be Sunday already. I want to see him play. I'm excited, but we're always here to give you the top information, what's going on, uncut, the real opinions that we got. We're here for you guys. If you have any questions, always ask questions. We'll definitely try to cover as many as we can. But it's been fun, Jerry.
It is, man. It is, and it's crazy how the bye week was. The Cowboys were still the talk of the town even during the bye week. It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Super Bowl or bust, baby. It's our year.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Let's do it, baby. Let's go. Let's go. All right. Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you Sunday, man. Sunday.